as usually YouTube video is really bad lighting. Okay, I like Instagram. You can set this up a little bit. Okay, so it's all more fun. Okay, today I will be talking about erotic photo shoots for couples, and I have in front of me a couple photo shoot which I will be looking at first time and discussing. Okay. Also, I would like to discuss three questions that couples, people who are shooting erotic photography, interested and ask. Okay, so the first question is what will happen if the files are lost? Okay, or they forget to load their files, okay, and they don't know how to do it, right? When they have a photo shoot, they will have a gallery links, okay, where they have to take files from online, okay. And I assume that everyone is computer literated, and that's not true, okay. So what happened is that this lady contacted me recently, and she had a shoot a year ago, and she told me that she forgot to take the files and it was too late, and she wanted to get a hold to those files. So the files are in archives, okay, and I'm able to retrieve them. I'm able to create new galleries, okay. New galleries you can access via links, right? So I need to load the galleries, create the galleries, make the links, send the links over, okay. Go to archives, find everything, right? So it takes time, and I will collect the fee, okay, for that service, and it's available. There are often people lose their computers, okay, lose their hard drives, external drives, they lose their phones, okay. So that is why it's a popular question, because they want to see the images. Maybe not at the beginning, right, when they had the shoot and all very excited, okay, from the experience, but a year later, they want to see the files and they want to see the pictures. And that is amazing, right? That it is an option, and it is available for them, right? So that's the first thing what I will discuss. The second thing is about authorship and the copyright, okay? And the third question is a very interesting question. It is about how you feel, okay, about erotic photo shoots. And there are a lot of people who are scared to do an erotic photo shoot, okay. And recently one guy texted me a message saying that he has a girlfriend and they think about it again and again, but they are scared, okay, scared to do a photo shoot, right? So that is something what I would like to talk about today. And at the same time, I would like to talk about couples photography, of course, right? And when I will be talking about couples photography, I will be looking, okay, looking at the files, how successful it was. And of course, every shoot which I make starts from the portrait, okay? And so recently I had a couples photo shoot, an erotic photo shoot, which includes photography and includes videos, right? Mixed service. I do both. I shoot photography with Canon and I shoot videos with Sony, right? And we start from the portraits most of the time, okay? There is no rule, okay? People can start straight away from the hardcore session, okay? If they want to undress and perform. But usually, like I said, there are people who are very scared and shy and embarrassed, okay? Embarrassed, they think that they do not look good, okay? They feel awkward, right? They feel, how to say, not worthy, okay? There are a lot of negative emotions, okay, when it comes to undressing, okay? They are not beautiful, they are not perfect, something is wrong with them, and so on and so on. And it's not that women think only this way, men also, okay? Lack of confidence, okay? So erotic photo shoot is a confident boost for people, right? Confident boost for people, and when they do it as a couple, when they do it together, I believe that it is much more easier, and they have to be braver when they two of them, right? When you are by yourself, okay, it's a different story. But when you have someone to do it with, okay, to support you, to be there, right there for you, okay, I think it is much easier, right? So people usually scared as the individuals, and this is their individual issue, okay, individual problem. That's how they feel, right? Or one of the couple, one individual in the couple is more scared than the other, okay? That's how it works, okay? So, or both, or one of them, okay? If people are, and I want to tell this, okay, because this is this is a very important thing, right? When it comes to showing your body, showing yourself, expressing yourself, right? And especially when there is someone there in front of you, like a photographer, and when there is a camera involved, when someone is taking picture of you or recording you, right? People even more terrified, right? Even more terrified. So what I was telling is this, that there are superficial reasons which are also very important, but there is a very like deep down ground reasons why people are shy, nervous, scared, and embarrassed to do this, okay? And most of the time it is a traumatic experience in the past, okay, in the childhood, right? And when it comes to undressing or performing or doing something, it's just a block inside them rises up and not allowing. Everything happens to stop it. For women, I can tell you what it happens, okay? For women, you can have periods before the shoot. That's how much the body is scared and educated that you can't have a shoot, erotic. This is what will stop, okay? For men, there are different ways, but I can tell you there are mental issues, there are physical body issues, right? But most of the time, when the person is absolutely okay mentally, not traumatic experience in their head, they are excited, they are happy, they are looking forward, okay, to this new experience. They cannot wait. And this is a totally different picture when people actually had a traumatic experience. They're terrified, they're absolutely terrified, and they paint the picture that something bad will happen to them, you know? So that's the thing. That's how I would say this is a fundamental reason, right? And when they're scared to do these things, when it comes to, you have to go forward and dress, show yourself, right? It's not only related to erotic photography. In general, it's related to new things, what they're doing. That's how the information, it just pass on to other systems everywhere. It happens the same. Okay, they are very much alert and very much scared. Okay, so that's the first thing. And superficial, I would say, reasons is of course related about the looks. What if I not look good, or I'm too old, or something, like I don't have perfect, figure, or maybe, I don't have, great direction, or, I would not perform, I would not last, and, and so on and so. There are many kind of superficial reasons why people scared. But like I said, most of all, it's related and it goes much, much deeper, okay, to your traumatic past. And erotica is a repair, okay? So erotica in general is the repair because it happens through your fantasy, through your fantasy world, okay? The situations that you had somewhere or frighten you when you was younger, okay? Now in your fantasy, it flips and occur in a different way, okay? That's why you are searching for certain things. That's why you're obsessed about certain things. That's why you have certain kinks, certain passions, certain desires, okay? That's how it works with erotica. Erotica is mending you mentally, right? So let me just check what we have here. Okay, talking about erotic photo shoot with the couples, like I say, not every couple is scared. This specific couple, they were nervous, right? Because this is unknown and the first time, but it's not that ill situation when people cannot even control themselves, okay? When people need some medicine, okay? When people need to have some alcohol to come down, right? So when people are nervous, they are able to control this, and it puts them into the moment, like I say, excitement. When they start doing a shoot, that excitement is going just higher through the roof, right? So this photo shoot which I had with this couple was a traditional, I would say. Okay, traditional. And I am absolutely happy to meet these people and work with them and be in their zone, in their field, because this is a huge value. This is the value that I'm looking for, and everyone is looking for. Okay, this is the value when it is a true love, when people know each other very well, when people are connected, when people discuss, okay? When I have a conversation with them, how are we gonna do it, okay? What kind of intimate scenes I am going to shoot? What is it her preference, okay? What is it his preference? What they both like, okay? So there will be scenes, right? And those scenes we will just be shooting some ideas, some fantasies, which include some positions, right? I need to know how they want to do it so that I would be with my camera in the right place, in the right moment, right? It's not surprising for me. So I can direct and lead them, right? So they can share those intimate moments, you know, and they can discuss this in front of me, how they want to do it. Or maybe we should do it this way and this way. And you start there, and then I will do this, and then we will, and that's how we will finish. Or maybe we should, you know, and that's a very healthy conversation when people can share intimate details and can go into sexual fantasy mode verbally. Okay? When they can explain me how they would like it, what they enjoy, okay, what she would like, what he would like, okay, it's very healthy. It is normal, right? But there are people who cannot share this information, who cannot speak even about this, okay, because they feel embarrassed, because there are some emotions arising, right? Because they feel awkward or shy, right? So there are different type of couples, okay? Different couples would do a totally different shoot. There was another question, which is a funny question to me. They're saying, Julia, why you do not have a fixed price list? You know, why do I do not have a fixed price list? Probably because you see, we are all different, like I say, and people have different experiences in life, and people have a different time to get used to and get into an erotic shoot, okay? And the session lasts longer for many, okay? And then they need more help during the photo shoot, okay? And they need more help starting out or finishing up, depending, right? And then people have different, like I say, erotic fantasies, different repair mechanism, okay? Some would like to do a very classic and romantic situations like this couple, okay? Oh my gosh, I can see how they started. It's a shame that I cannot show you, right? But I created a Telegram channel where I am going to soon, you know, visually not only discuss this with you verbally, but visually show you, because that's an opportunity and an option, okay? An option on Telegram. So how they started is, of course, she had a beauty makeover, okay? And beauty makeover is that she had a makeup done and her hair done, okay? And beauty makeover service is an extra service which is done not by me but a beauty professional, okay? And usually beauty professional arrives to the studio or to the hotel or, you know, apartment you are renting or staying in, right? So that would happen to them, okay? They were staying in the apartment and the beauty professional came and provided the service, and after that they arrive to the studio. So when I have a makeover service done, I suggest always for the lady to have a boudoir portrait, just her, solo portrait, okay? Because as soon as I match them together, they start kissing and they will mess everything up. Okay, so I wanted to have that. I wanted to have that moment and those portraits done, and I can tell you how many we done. 8. We done 8 portraits, and then I asked the husband to come closer, and the moment he come closer, he just nicely, you know, comes to her, they cuddle and they kiss, and then they snog, and that's it, and and it was just 8 pictures, right? So usually when the couple is in a contact, okay, most of the time they would like makeover scenarios during the photo shoot, most of the time. But there are couples who would like to come to the studio and have non-sexual shoot. Okay, and what that means is you can have sexual shoot, intimate scenarios, okay, and you can have non-sexual shoot. It means that they will be naked in front of the background or in the setting, doesn't matter, but they would not perform, they would not do anything. There will be no sexual energy created in there. Yeah, they are just shooting, nude art portraits. Okay, nude art when they're naked in front of each other, holding each other, right? But there is no action going on there. Okay, and that is also possible, right? So there are different ways how to go and shoot nude photography or erotic photography. You can do it in a non-sexual way. There are people who would like that. But majority, as soon as they click, as soon as they touch, okay, everything just escalating and going higher and higher in terms of the energy. Hi, hello, hi, hello. So that's how it works, okay, in the studio. Most of the time, erotic photo shoots are happening in freestyle, okay? And even then, we discussed that we will create a beautiful boudoir portraits for her. Yes, we managed to do 8 shots the moment he came closer to her. Okay, after 4 or 5 pictures, they start kissing. Yeah, then they start cuddling. Then she's sitting on him, and that's it. And they start undressing. You know, undressing. They arrived in jeans and t-shirts. Okay, and that's what I said to them. Let's start straight away with that. Okay, because it's very cool. I believe, right? It's very cool. It's one of the outfits, right? It's a very normal outfit. If you would do a portrait with jeans and t-shirts, you could use it for a Facebook, right? Like literally for a social media. It's not that she is naked or she is just in a bra, right? But erotic photo shoot, it means that even if you dressed, you are going to undress anyway, right? However, I have this option on my website. You can have intimate sexual shoot with the clothes on, okay? With the clothes on, I'm giving this option. Yes, you can have that, right? With the clothes on. Why I'm saying with the clothes on? Because for me, it's easier to edit. In the post-production process, everything happens much faster. Okay, so that's an option. And there are a lot of people who are, like I say, shy and embarrassed and feel awkward and dressing, feel, how to say, unhappy with their body, but still would like to have a sexual, intimate experience in the studio and see for themselves how it is. So I'm not saying that everyone should undress, okay, but that's most of the time is a preference of for the couple. Okay, that is also an experience, and that is also a performance. Okay, every time we undress, okay, there are couples who would go nude into the shoot. They will just have one outfit and they would like to shoot erotic fantasies naked, right? So then we will add, I will add some accessories, some props, some toys, something, okay? Sometimes you don't need. Sometimes they are so hot and turn on, okay, that they just can go. Can go for 2 hours, okay, non-stop, and can create, okay? When a couple arrives, I say, this is your changing room, right? This is your changing room. In the changing room, we have wardrobe, sexy outfits. We have accessories. We can find shoes, okay, as well. We can find stuff for men, but it is more generous with the woman. Okay, it's more generous with the woman, right? So for this couple specifically, the lady bring a lot of hot and sexy outfits, okay, and they were like classy and pricey outfits, okay, but the guy, but the guy didn't bring anything, Okay, so imagine she is all classy and all sexy, and this is like wow lingerie. Okay, and I see him in the shirt, and I would like to put a tie. Okay, on him. I would like to. So this is something what is available, right? So guys are always left out. Okay, they forget. Okay, that they need to bring something. Yeah, but the ladies always looked after, and that makes me happy. Okay, so this couple had pink boots. Okay, pink boots. They bought pink boots. They do not understand why they have pink boots, but imagine this should happen very recently. It's quite hot. Okay, and pink boots, and they were like like a crocodile style pink boots and long. Okay, and I thought this is what we're gonna shoot with it, but believe me, I remember the last scene when we were doing like can I say this word on YouTube? I have to find a new vocabulary, okay, for intimate scenarios, because I just recently I was speaking, open-minded and freely, and I just recently was blocked on TikTok. So it's funny. So I'm trying to think, what to say. But the blowjob, I can say this, right? So that was the scene when she was blowing in those pink boots, and it was amazing. It was so amazing. I said, this is the best buy. This is the best buy. So sometimes the items looks maybe, funny, where you can wear these pink boots, but for a specific erotic shoot, when you create, it would be perfect. You see? So when people are asking what to bring, I would say bring sexy outfits. But sometimes these type of bonkers, things, they just make things happen. I always wanted to watch my wife with two guys and to shoot it. Okay, you would not believe this. Okay, but Julia at my studio, Julia creates erotic photo shoots. Okay, and erotic photo shoot involves models. Okay, and couples book models, right? And I create erotic scenarios. And when the couples book models, two erotic fantasies are the most popular. Okay, so when the husband would like to see his wife with another man, okay, that's first number one fantasy. It's a cuckold fantasy, right? Cuckold fantasy, and it could be with one, could be with two guys, right? It doesn't matter, but that's the gist. That's what we shoot. And then another fantasy is threesome. Okay, it's threesome. Threesome could be with man, woman, man, or woman, man, woman. Okay, that could be an option. So depending on what the preference is for a couple, sometimes they book a female model for their threesome, and sometimes they book a male model for their threesome. Okay, that's how it goes. Good that you have a lot of options. You don't judge cuckold fantasies. Well, yes, I've actually a long time ago started shooting erotic fantasies. I've already mentioned that erotic fantasies is how to say, traumatic repair in their heads. Okay, usually cuckold fantasy was born when you was much younger as a boy and you wasn't in control in a situation. Maybe you was watching some very nice, beautiful girl with some guy, okay, and you could not change anything about it. Okay, she didn't choose you or so on. Now when you have this option, you want to repair yourself and fix the situation, when now you are in the control and you have a lovely wife and you can just re-record your files. Okay, that's how it is. That's how I look at this, right? It's not about judging anything here. Okay, erotic fantasies can be absolutely, how to say, different for any other couple. Okay, that's why I can I can repeat again. That is why I do not have a price list on my website, because every couple has a different idea. You see, different fantasy, right? Different fantasy. That's how it goes. So today I'm talking about erotic photo shoots, and at the same time I have few questions to cover. So the first question, what I've actually already covered, I believe, it's why people scared to do erotic photo shoots. Okay, and I refer this to a psychological issues, okay, traumatic issues, and that is a therapy for them. Okay, therapy, right? And again, I say, erotica creates a fantasies in your head, and that's how it will repair, okay, the traumatic experiences that you have. Okay, for example, I can tell you, girls like rough intimate connections, right? Rough, okay. And when sometimes they book a model, they book specific model, and I say, no, this guy is you will have a rape experience, and they would book him. Okay, so there are a lot of women who've been when they're younger, they've been scared to be attacked, to be raped, to be, used and so on. When they older, they would like that. Okay, that's how it changes the repair. They wanna have this rough experience. That's what happens with women, right? So let me just go back into this couple photo shoot, because I'm looking at this moment how a couple is undressing in front of the camera. Okay, and we had amazing moments. Of course, they are removing their t-shirts and the jeans and just showing a bit of flesh and endlessly kissing each other, endlessly kissing each other, right? Makeover for a lady, okay, how to say, brings up the whole beauty and self confidence feeling, okay. So it is recommended, to be fair, but there are a lot of women who can make their own makeup, and hairstyle. But when the professional will do, okay, most of the time you will not be able to do it for yourself in the same way. Okay, that is why it's recommended. Okay, and even if you do a cohort fantasy shoot, there are a lot of men who struggling. You see, they have this fantasy, but the woman is not going to do it. Okay, she is not going to do it for many reasons. Okay, I have a lot of guys who have this fantasy and contacted me. Okay, I have a rule now. Okay, I would tell them that his wife has to contact me and say that she is aware. Okay, because what they want is discuss the fantasy. Okay, just sit on my brain here. Okay, arrange an idea of the photo shoot, okay, even look at the models, but the wife doesn't know about it, okay, and then he's trying to convince her and nothing will happen, right? So coco fantasy shoot is a great fun, okay, for a husband, right? And not every time the wife is really happy about this, so just so you know. Right, very true, and thanks, I will reach out. I will suggest you to go to a Julia Winter Studio contact page and send me an email, okay? Or another option is send me a WhatsApp message, okay? Because I'm not on the social media. I am not. So I apologize for really late replies or replying never, okay? That's how it is. But I believe if people want to find me, they put an effort and they will find me, right? So continuing with the couple's photo shoot. Okay, so they were sitting, making up. Then I told him to stand up. Yes, he has his hands on her bum. And they in general very hot with each other. They like really moving with each other and doing stuff. No, actually not right. We did a boudoir shoot. She just had less makeup on her face. We did it, okay? It was his idea. So I have a huge table here, okay, in the changing room, and she sit down on her knees like a doggy position, right? And then just nicely squatted. So it's very nice. Now I can see, I remember. I'm shooting in the moment, and I'm shooting in a creative mode. And sometimes I even do not remember what I've created. So when I'm looking at this, I remember. Okay. So what is happening is that we created a solo shots with this certain outfit that she had. Okay. Because that was a beautiful outfit. And when she's sitting on the table, she's drinking some bubbly wine. Okay. And then the husband is joining. The husband is joining and enjoying her bum, kissing there. Okay, kissing there, and I have her face while he's kissing her bum, which is very nice. And then he sits down and she's just sitting down, legs down on him, which is very sexy as well, right? And he is coming closer to her chest, and then when he's kissing, yes, kissing her breasts, very nice. And now we had another scene when she's naked and he is in jeans. Okay, so how to say, we are shooting a vast of different kind of ideas, different kind of lighting, right? People are just making out naked, being naked in the studio. That is also one of the experiences, okay, that people go through. But not only that you need to dress and undress and perform, but just being naked, okay, just being naked in the studio and performing. That's one of the experiences. And then we got back into a dress and a shirt situation on a different background. Okay, and I believe that was the moment when we started the video. So usually how it is, I create a photography with my couple, okay, to the point when they are warmed up, okay, properly. When the couple is properly warmed up, I am ready to create videos for them, okay, and they are ready. The reason why I'm saying is they are ready because the video will be interesting, okay. People need the time to start, okay, to go into the zone, to go into the vibe, right? Everyone has their own limitations, okay, they feel different sensations, right? But because they stay longer in the studio, the longer they stay, the better it gets, the easier it gets for them as well, okay. So I would say this is very straightforward option, right, to have a photography when you are testing and when you're warming up, okay. What that means is you still you still, have the stiffness in your body, okay, you're still not ready. I just seen models, okay, professional models who arrive in the studio and in 5 minutes they're ready, okay. I've seen that, okay. But when we come to normal people, when we speak to how to say, ordinary couple who never done a photo shoot in their life and this is the first time experience, they need time, okay. And what happens is they posing, okay. When they're posing, they maybe pretend that there's someone else, okay. But when usually the couple connects, okay, that being someone else evaporates and disappears, okay, because they are making raw sexual energy. And that's what is the gold for me. That's what matters, because this energy stays imprinted in here, okay. When you create adult content, for example, right, adult content for adult workers, okay, for people who would like to make money or to be famous with their nudity, right, and with their sexual intimate games, right, adventure, attract more people. They have different goals and different energy, right. It's a totally different situation with them, right. But when the couple is long time together, when they are in love, when they know each other well, when they are intact with each other, and when they are mentally strong, right, they create a totally different energy within them, okay. And that is what I enjoy the most, right? Shooting real, raw, emotion, right? That's what that is. Okay. That's nice. That's nice. Okay, that's sexy. There is another scene going on here. I don't know if I can say these words, what they're doing. They will block me on Instagram and then YouTube. But she's very playful, okay? She's very playful, and that's how it should be, okay? That's how it should be. And and we finished this shoot with a dress and a shirt. Everything was taken away, but there is another scene started which involves pink boots, and that's what I'm saying. Pink boots sometimes they look really, really fun, right? But you would not think that, oh, I can shoot this. But when it comes to erotic photography, you know, these things can work really, really well. Okay? Really well. So I would just say, oh my gosh, I just looked at 600 pictures while I am online. And I did two things in one which I always dreamt about is looking at the file where the couple is shooting, okay, and talking to people, doing two things at once, okay. So lastly, it's 35 minutes. Lastly, I would like probably to answer this question about authorship. Okay, who is the author of the work that we create in the studio, and the copyright? Okay, because this is a very important question. People need to know, right? So most of the time, and if you book a photo shoot, okay, we are going to share a copyright. Okay, it is going to be a private shoot, but I will allow myself to use part of the images where there is no identity shown. Yeah, identity is hidden. It means that the face will be cropped. Okay, and I would use it for my business use. It means that blogs and web gallery updates. Okay, and I will allow people who will receive the artwork unlimited usage. There will be no limitations, and I provide all the highlights from the shoot. Okay, what that means is, so I just looked at 600 images what we shot in 2 hours. Okay, in 2 hours time, 2 hours and a half, I would say, right? But also at that time, I'm not only created 600 images, I also created 31 gigabyte of video footage. 31 gigabyte. Okay, that means that I'm not sitting there, okay, and relaxing during the shoot. I'm seriously moving around and trying to cover a lot of angles, okay, create a lot of frames. I'm changing lightings. If we're shooting one scene, I'm changing a lighting at least 3 times, okay, and during that time I'm changing the camera settings, okay, so that they would have a variety of images, okay, different contrast, different light, okay. I'm using gels as well. I'm doing different things, okay. Plus we have backgrounds, we have different settings. One scene they are on the cheslong, the other scene they are, on the bedroom, in the bed, okay. The other scene they are somewhere near the wall doing something. The other scene, on one back. So that's how it works. They will get a variety, okay. And that's what that means, create art. When you create art and then you do a lot of adjustments, you have a lot of error automatically, okay. A lot of error which needs to be fixed manually, okay, manually. So usually the studio will give you, I don't know, 5 images, 10 images, 15 images maximum, right? But Julia will give you, here we go, 600 images here. Okay, 600 images plus, like I say, we shot video files, 31 gigabyte. So what will happen after? Okay, what will happen after? After, when we create a erotic photo shoot, I will give them an option what they can do in a post-production. Okay, they can just have this experience and take all the raw files. Okay, and that would be one price for the shoot. Okay, they can have a basic editing options. Okay, that's another price. They can have a standard. I mean, the higher editing and the more product, okay, involved, right? Or they can have a high-end retouch, right? So basic editing and high-end editing on the image, okay, it means that the file becomes heavier and more manipulation, more actions, okay, the longer process happened on that file. That's how it goes, right? And when it comes to a video, it's the same. It's the same. You can just clean and crop and join the file. okay? Or you can just play and lay out the story, okay? Or you can choose the best bits, okay? You can mix and match, you can make reels, you can make slideshows, okay? You can make short video, medium video, long video, okay? Depending on what couple would like, right? Different ways how to go about it, okay? But post-production is the most lengthiest and most time-consuming process, okay? If you stay in the shoot for 2 hours, 3 hours, right? And like I say, in 2.5 hours I've shot 600 images and I have 31 gigabyte of video file, right? So I can be editing this, you know? If it's just cleaning the file, could be one day. I just check all the files and resize them, okay, and just create galleries. Or I can stay 7 days in a post-production and create serious products. There are movies, you know, and and a lot of things. So different post-production, of course, priced differently. That is why I will be always discussing this with the couple. Couple very often would like to know how much does it cost. Okay. It is very hard to say how they will succeed. With some couples we will shoot 100 images. Okay. And with this one we made 600. Okay. So 100 and 600 images is a different amount, right? So that's like I say, when I have files on hands and we actually made the photo shoot happen, okay, it is much easier to discuss what will happen and how many images they will get and what will be their product, okay? But when you book a package, for example, then it will be 5 images, 10 images, and 15 images, right? This couple booked unlimited shoot. It means that they are creating and we are shooting our project that we planned, okay? And we take that time to shoot all the scenes that we discussed, okay? And that's a freestyle photo shoot, okay? And we can create this in 300 images, but we can create it in 600 images and loads more, okay? Depending on the couple, right? How imaginative it is, how creative the couple it is. And another thing is, they were tired, you know? 600 pictures, 31 gigabyte of video file. They were tired, okay? So I make people very tired, you know, during the photo shoot because they have to do the work, okay? They have to show me all the moves, okay? They have to show me the passion and desire. They have to show me the Kama Sutra situation, how many posing and what they can do with each other, you know? And that's what will go into their video. So they're not like surprising me, okay? They're making their own amazing content. When they will get older, which will happen in everyone is getting older every day, right? They will have a huge energy source that they can come back to and remember how hot they are, how physically fit they were, you know, how they can pull off these things, okay, and how they, you know, how they can move and shake the booties, right? That's very important to have such a memory to look back to, okay? And this is the time when erotic photo shoots are very popular and people are considering this for their own development. Like erotic shoots is for self-confidence, of course, for an intimate passion and how to say moments as a couple, okay, on camera and on film. And I would like to finish my video because it was very nice chatting with you. I just looked at the files and I'm very happy with the things that we've created. I am going to look at the videos now. So thank you so much and I see you later, right? And thank you for questions. Bye. Erotic photo shoot for couple. Erotic photo shoot for couple. Erotic photo shoot for couple.